Being adopted, not just a highlight for me, was a highlight for my mom too. And to see someone who, and this goes for the adoption parents, for you to be able to have a heart to love a whole other human being that didn't come necessarily from your body, to love them as much, if not more, you have to have a big heart for that. And I admire you, all of you adoption parents, for that, and I thank you for that. I know sometimes you think and wonder about the whys and such of you being adopted. I can't change the whys. I don't even know what all of the whys are. I only know from my side of this adoption, and thank God every day that it was to be. I love you so much, more than I could if I had given birth to you myself, and more than the one who gave you birth ever could. Oh, that's a lot. Whoa. I love you so much, more than I could if I had given birth to you myself, and more than the one who gave you birth ever could. More than my birth mom. I know it may not help you wondering why, but I hope it helps to know how much I love you, and I can't imagine life without you. No matter what country you are from, no matter what country you live in, no matter the state or place or area, what deems to be the safest area, what deems to be a dangerous area, you will have your struggles. But as many struggles that will come into your individual life and that you grow and learn from, you also have so much success too within yourself and things that are happening around you and to you. Blessings. So many blessings. But regardless, I am so grateful to be adopted. I am so grateful and happy and feel blessed to be adopted. And this is a letter from me to you, adopted parents, and to my mom. A letter of gratitude. A letter to say thank you for putting it in your heart, realizing that while having a child of your own, growing from your own womb is such an unforgettable and special and pure bonding moment, you know that there is a child out there that came from a separate womb, but you know that child is yours. You know she is your daughter. You know he is your son. It doesn't matter where they came from. It doesn't matter the color of their skin. It doesn't matter the sickness that they were born with or the sickness that they had. It doesn't matter the country that they're from. It doesn't matter what your friends or family would say or people around you, what they will say to you to have a different racial child. Because you know in your heart that they are yours and you love them. And you will take them into your hands in your responsibility. You will teach them the ways of this world, the ways of what being human is. You will show them this world. You will hold their hand, you will protect them. You will teach them, you will discipline them. You will love them. You will educate them. You will mentor them. You will cry with them. You'll smile with them. You will want to be with them and watch them grow. Starting first day of kindergarten, to middle school, to graduation, to marriage, will also be with them or watch them when they are going through so much, when they're going through their own individual identity crisis. And you will see them at times, whether it started young or adolescent or older. You will see them wonder more about where they came from, wonder more about their birth heritage, their birth family. Even if it's not a yearning desire to go see them, but just wonder. Doesn't mean that they don't love you any less. It's only human for us adoptees to be curious. You will find them asking questions about their culture, about the language, about their background medical history. Those parts are very significant for us adoptees. While in the end, I know I was meant to be adopted and I wouldn't want nothing more to be here, I still had questions. I still have questions. More background medical records. What is it that runs in my blood that I can eventually be alert and prepare myself for the future? What if my family was out there, which I found out they were, and I had the blessed opportunity to meet them and be in contact with them. My advice to you adopted parents is, as much as you're going to let them into your lifestyle, to the American lifestyle, don't close doors on their heritage as well. Doesn't mean you have to push anything. My mom never pushed. I obviously already knew I was adopted, determining by the skin difference. But even as simply as having souvenirs from Guatemala around my home and knowing that that's where I came from, my advice is to encourage them to learn the language of their own. For one day it could come in so much handy. One day it could come in so much use. I know my mother tried to have us in Spanish when I was little, but I never took it as serious. Although now I wish I would. My advice is to not always protect us so much from the real world that it ends up hiding us from the real world, but preparing us for the real world, for what we are going to go through in life. My adopted mom, my mother, showed me what love is. She showed me how to love. She showed me how to feel. She showed me how to care for others, how to treat everyone with respect. She showed me to accept anyone, no matter their age, religion, race, color, beliefs. My mother showed me not to give up. Because for those many years of her fighting her sickness, and those last few years of her staying strong and alive for us while having leukemia, she never gave up because she always wanted to be there for her children. She wanted the best for her daughters. And although my adopted mother passed away when I was 17, leaving life just to my sister and I, that was the plan. Now, for me, as an adopted citizen, is to keep going in this chapter. It's to keep moving. And now feeling so blessed to have 2 cultures, 2 languages, 2 countries, 2 sources of community, Guatemala and America. I feel that it took me to be adopted to be able to go back to Guatemala and fall in love with it 10 times stronger. 10 times stronger than if I was to have been left there. Because it was those years of growing and developing and eventually learning and seeing and experiencing the culture for myself. My culture from within. To now be here, blessed. Even everything that I've gone through personally, to still see the gratitude in it all, to be able to be a vessel, to be one of those children, to say thank you. Thank you, adopted parents. Thank you for never giving up. Thank you for opening your heart. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for taking us in. I was given a card that has one of my favorite quotes on, and it goes like this. There are two gifts we should give our children. One is roots, and the other is wings. And while I know my birth mom gave me my roots, in the end, my adopted mother gave me my wings. And for that, I never want to ask for anything more. While I know there are a lot of adopted children and adopted parents that struggle a lot, or may think different, have different opinions and views of adoption, and while this doesn't subside any of them, any of you guys who are going through that, I can only share my personal story, my personal experiences, what I personally go through. And even by losing my own adopted mother and never having a father and just a sister and I have grown so much from everything. I don't take anything for granted. I don't take any of that as hardship and trial of she is to blame for leaving me here. Because if anything, that's where my story really began. Of carrying on her legacy, my mother, and carrying on my legacy and God's plan for me, in reaching out to others, impacting, no matter the dark days that you've been through, but to shine a light on those dark days and let you guys know that there is light. To any of those adoptees who are struggling, who feel lost or confused at times. Adoption can be a scary thing. Adoption can be a confusing identity crisis. But I know and pray that if you just keep going and trying new things, exploring your culture, if possible even traveling to your own country, but if not, research, reading books, finding other people from there, explore. And I pray that you will be able to find some answers or the comfort or the revelations that you're seeking for yourself. Just because I have traveled to my country, just because I've met my birth family, doesn't mean that I am whole and complete with all of that. For in the end, I've come to realize that whole and completeness comes from within me. Wherever I'm at, living here, living over there, wherever I go, that sense of peace and fulfillment lies within me. So I just want to say thank you, adopted parents. You are true angels. And I pray for you to be the examples of what good adopted parents should be. To love your children and to prepare them for any unforeseen events that could occur, even within yourself. My mother, I know, she never intentionally planned on passing away while we were younger, but there are some things in this world that we can't control, but it's only the matter of preparation. I remember, and I'll never forget, my very last talk with my mom before she passed away. She told me, Kayla, just because my chapter is almost over in this world does not mean that yours is. For your story is only beginning. And I truly will always take that in. And that's what I advise in all of my videos, is in the end, we all have a story. We all have a story that deserves to be shed to light, that deserves to be brought to light. No matter if it's impacting 1 or 100. We are here to serve others, to love others, to care for others. And that's a huge part that's in your hearts, adopted parents. And that's a huge part in us, adopted children. To know that while times are hard with our adopted parents, they're doing their best. They're doing their best too. It's all learning and such a new experience for both of us. So try saying thank you a little bit more, or start praying a little bit more, or feeling grateful for them. And never take anyone in this world around you for granted. Even if you're experiencing a lot of hard days with people, they're there around you for a lesson, good or growth. Thank you. Thank you, adopted parents. Adoption is a beautiful thing in the end, because it makes you become the person that you are today.